How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins submitted to the workshop this week. If you're new, that means that these are just the best skins out there this week, and does not mean that all of these are coming into the game or that they are in game. Only 8 or so get chosen every week. So just want to clarify that before we get into it. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into our clothing items. We've got a hoodie and pants set to start you off with right here. And this one kind of has a bit of a galaxy-esque theme to you. It gives you a galaxy theme, guys, yes. It is the outer space hoodie and pants. And yeah, you can see it has all different kind of sections to it. It's very kind of, you know, I would say kind of a tactical layout, but it also has a very kind of like laid back, kind of cool galaxy vibe to it. I particularly like the design on the back. It's always a shame when the chest piece kind of hides that, but you can get some of it on the hood too there, so that's quite cool as well. Speaking of tactical, we've got the Desert Raiders set for you, and this is made specifically to blend in with the new HDRP desert colors, and yes, it's just a very nice tactical desert set, so everyone that kind of wants some desert camo, this would definitely be the one that fits into it. It's a very nice set. Lots of great details to it. Next up, we've got the Hack Me Riot helmet, and it's got this little digital face on it. And then it's got various little stickers going on all around it, and then the Hack Me there on the back. And then if we go ahead and take a look, you can see. There we go. Get a little better vibe of it there. And then, of course, the question is, well, does it glow? And, of course, yes, the little face does have a glow on it. Next up, we've got a continuation in the Whiteout set. We've got the Whiteout Roadsign gloves and Kilt. And, yeah, it's pretty much everything you would expect. Yeah, it's the Blackout set, reversed, and there you go. It's that pretty much. And then the Roadsign gloves, I actually kind of like the flat kind of armoring to it. It actually looks a little bit different from the Kilt, but yeah, there you go. And lastly, we've got one high qual set for you. This is the Partingham set, and yeah, it's got this kind of like bright neon yellow to it. It isn't glowy or anything like that. And then the rest of it kind of has like a pieced together kind of tactical look to it, really. Definitely kind of has like a found rust kind of vibe going on, which I thought is cool, and definitely a neat neon vibe. Alright, next up we are going to check out our deployables. Here we've got the Croco bag. So as you can see, it's a friendly little sleeping bag here. It's got the little crocodile face on it, some teeth, and even a little tongue sticking out. It's definitely a little bit on the cuter side, so I don't know if the crocodile's so scary, but definitely a cute one nonetheless. Next, we've got a couple furnaces for you, starting out with this one right here. And this is the Furnace Mushroom. And it's got that kind of classic cartoon mushroom, you know, the red and white dots. And then we've got some leaves over the top of it. And it looks kind of like a golden base to it. And it's got like the wood up here. Gives me very kind of like Smurfs or Mario kind of vibes, but without kind of stealing from it. So that's definitely something kind of cool. Next, we've got another furnace for you, and this one is a beautifully sculpted lantern. It is the Arabian Night Lantern Furnace, and as you can see, it lights up so beautifully. And yeah, it's got these beautiful kind of carvings on it with the star designs, and then on the bottom here as well. And then the top also has quite a bit of a nice design as well. Next, we've got two little boxes for you, starting out with this one right here. It's part of the Retro Wave set, and of course is the Retro Wave small box. And yeah, it's pretty much as you would expect. It's just Retro Wave. Next, over here, we've got the Doodle box for you, and it is exactly the same kind of thing as you would expect. It is the Doodle set. It's got all sorts of little doodles all around it here. Has a little bit more of a dirtier kind of look to it, which kind of fits the small box in my opinion. And yeah, if you look at the top, we've got a high qual rust doodled dude up on top, and lots of other little fun things to check out. Next, we've got a large box for you, and this one is a continuation with the door that we saw last week. This is the New Era box, And yeah, we've got our little Mars rover and a rocket leaving the moon and all sorts of planets along the side. There you go. And of course it does glow, which we'll show here at the end. Next, we've got a couple of doors for you, starting with this one right here. This is the train door, and I'm pretty sure this is kind of like a crushed spray can, so I'm not sure what that really has to do with trains. But hey, one way or another, it's kind of really cool creative graffiti, so I definitely wanted to be sure to show it to you guys there. And yeah, it does look like it has a glow, but there isn't a glow. It's just a very bright door. Next, we've got this one over here, and this is the Doomed Temple sheet metal door. It has two versions, a glow and a non-glow. So this is the glowing one here, and you can kind of see a bit of a red, and that's going to be the glow, and that's the big difference. Otherwise, the doors are pretty much identical to themselves. So we'll be sure to show it there. And the one thing I thought was funny is the keys are right there. It looks like that skeleton just never had a chance since he was shackled. So that's just messed up. The keys are within reach, but not really. Next, we've got its alien door for you, and well, that's literally the name, alien door. Looks like the outside of the door is lined in meteor, like iron or something, you know, some kind of ore from a meteor rock, and then you can see the meteors themselves. And then we've got this kind of bearded tentacle alien dude just kind of hanging out in the middle there. All right, and next, we've got this really cool door. And yeah, the whole thing is made to look like a pinball machine, which I think is really, really cool. And of course, everything is themed after Rust. You got the satellite dish. There's a lighthouse over there. You've got a 2x1, bunch of monuments. In the middle here, you've got one of the, you know, these domes in between the little bumpers. And then, of course, we've got the roulette wheel right there. Definitely a very cool design. Next over here, we've got you a double sheet metal door. This one is kind of on the plain side, but also really nice. It is the Raider metal door, and it just kind of has this very subtle red spray painted skull to it. And then the rest of the door is made out of literal like sheet metal pieces, and it really just fits. It looks like it's one piece, and I think that makes it really, really cool. Next, we've got a couple garage doors for you, starting with this one right here. This is the Recycling Warehouse Door by Positive, and as you can see, the whole thing looks like a beat-up warehouse door of a recycling plant. You know, you got little recycle symbols there, lots of wear and tear on it, definitely something that looks very rusty and scrappy that fits into the world of Rust. Next over here, we've got continuation in the Brothers of Fire set by B3D, and this is the Brothers of Fire door. There's two versions. This one has the orange flames painted in, and the other one doesn't have it painted in. It's pretty much the difference there. I like the painted in one. It just adds a little more variety to it. And yeah, it's definitely a nice looking garage door. Then over here, we've got a neon door for you. This is the flexible neon garage door. So yeah, it's one of those things has kind of like those LEDs, kind of neon strips, I guess, around it. And it says run on the brain of the skull. So that is something cool. Then we've got a single armored door for you. This one is the Nuclear Door by Jin. There's two versions. I preferred version 2, so that's the one I'm showing to you guys. It just had a lot more detail to it than the other one. You've got a nice keypad here and a very kind of scuffed but very tough looking blast door. And then here on the back, you've got some insulation and so forth. The only thing, oh, the numbers did end up getting flipped around backwards there. That needs to be fixed as well. Lots of backward stuff today. I'm not sure what's up with that. Next, we've got a double armor door for you, and this is part of the Corrupted set, so of course it is the Corrupted double armor door. So there you have that. Then we'll go ahead and toggle the hatches, just because I know everyone likes to see that. It's a shame the skull couldn't line up for those to be eyes, though. That would have been kind of cool. But that would be a really weird, stretched out skull. Alright, let's check those out at night. So nothing too special to the glow of this furnace, just the, you know, regular default. Then if we head on over to this one over here, you can see this beautiful lantern just light up. So many little details there that make this thing look so nice. Then over here, we've got the box for you. We scoot on down here. We can check out the glow on the doors. And there you have it. Next up, we got our tools and hammers and so forth. And, well, starting out, we've got a hammer here for you. So this one has a very kind of beat up look to it and is quite cool looking. It is the Kitsingu hammer. I hope I'm saying that right. Oof. But has a very cool look to it for sure. Next, we've got a rock for you, followed by a rock by a rock by a rock by a rock. So here is the first rock. This one is the Ice and Fire Rock by Red Rex. And, well, as you can see, it is, well, ice and fire. I mean, makes sense to you, right? Then we've got another rock for you, and this one is the Sun and Moon. Ah, yeah, see, that makes sense, right? Because there's the sun and the moon. So there we have it. Then we've got another rock for you. This one is a little bit different. This is the Labradorzine rock. And yeah, there you go. It's got a bit of that crazy looking ore coming through the blackstone. Very cool vibe. Then we've got an ooze rock for you. This is the Slap Slime. And this thing has an eye in it. Look at that. Ah, it's so creepy and cool. Definitely love this rock for sure. And then we've got something a little more on the artistic side. This has got a yin and yang symbol and some very beautiful kind of tiles out and around it. This is the, well, yin and yang rock. Next up, we've got one last rock for you. This one has lots of little gemstones and gold to it. This is the Swag Rock. So there you got it. Next, we've got some tools for you, and these have a very neat looking sculpted vibe to them. They also kind of have like a little stylized art to it, which I thought was quite neat. This is the Forced Spirit set. And then, of course, you gotta have that matching pickaxe. There we go. Next, we've got a silly little bone club for you. This one is some broccoli. So if you'd like to beat some people with broccoli, well, now you possibly have a chance to if this makes it in. The Broccoli Bone Club. Then, following that all up, we've got a jackhammer for you. This one is full of all sorts of hot rod awesomeness. This is the Hot Rod Jackhammer by Stabby. And yeah, it's got Cobalt Classic written on it. You got those flames, a V8. Man, that's a powerful jackhammer. A V8 crammed in there somehow. Definitely very, very cool. Love the look of this jackhammer. Also, really want to flick that turbo valve. Next, we got a bow for you. This one has a little bit of a kind of busted up but shiny look to it. This is the Prestige Bow by Ideal. It looks like this used to be a nice golden color, but it's been pretty scuffed up. Go ahead and aim down the sights there for you. And you can see the light kind of shines off it a little bit differently. Sometimes you see more of a silvery look, sometimes you see a little bit more of that tarnished gold. Next, we've got another bow for you, and this one is a continuation in the fish set, so therefore it is the fish bow. And yeah, as you'll see, there's a big fish eye, you got the mouth there even, and a little leather for the grip, so at least, hey, it won't be slippery and scaly in your hand, so to say. And yeah, as you can see, the light picks up on it pretty nicely on those scales. Definitely a pretty silly looking bow, for sure. Next, we've got a Crossy for you, and this one is a little more on the simple side, but it has some nice carvings on it. It has some kind of like vampiric monster looking skulls there on the side. Go ahead and do that reload here. And this is the Forgotten Souls crossbow. Next, we've got a Python for you. This one is the Splendid Python, and yeah, it has this very shiny bluish kind of royal blue kind of color to it with lots of gold highlights and a nice little ivory grip. Aiming down the sights, you've got some kind of fancy carvings going on with a kind of golden tip to the sight there. Go ahead and pop a reload there. Next, we've got a sap for you, and this one has a very bright color to it. It is the Forged in Lava sap. And of course, this does have a glow to it, so we'll be sure to show you that. Aiming down the sights, you got some usual kind of just iron tip sights, but a lot of that kind of lava glow, that seems to be more of the focus of this gun for sure. Alright, and next up, we've got a remake or version 2 of the Sap from Hell. And yeah, it's a very popular set, so definitely one that makes a great amount of sense. And yeah, I think the update has been done quite nice to it. Go ahead and aim down the sights there. And of course, this does glow, so we'll be sure to show that to you. Next, we've got a SAR for you, and it's a continuation in the AK we saw last week with the Toxic Wolf set. So if that AK does well, maybe we will see this SAR. So there it is. It's pretty much the exact same kind of stuff you can expect from it. You've got that acid dripping wolf on it, lots of acid washed color to the gun, and lots of acid drips on there. Aiming down the sights, you've got that biohazard symbol and some drip on the tip. Next, we've got a MP5 for you. This one is on the more colorful side. This is the Pigment MP5 by Ariana. And yeah, you can see it's got all sorts of little colors going on. A kind of splash confetti of colors and designs in the middle with a nice kind of calming blue color on everything else. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a red painted sight and even a colorful little rainbow screw. Next, we've got another MP5 for you. This one's a little more on the artistic and creepy side. This is the Ravenous MP5 by Slime. And yeah, the whole thing just has teeth and eyeballs all over it and is definitely a really cool design. Gotta love that. Aiming down the sides here, you've got one eye staring back at you and a little purple tip to the sight. Next, we've got another MP5, and this one is much more on the rusty side. It fits into the scrappy and rusty vibe of this world. I mean, that's where the game has its name, right? And this one has a Russian name to it, so I'm not going to even try to butcher that. You can just look down in the description to the list yourself. But yeah, it's got all sorts of little stuff written on it. Kill them all, scrap, so forth. Aiming down the sides here, you've got a little skull with wings and a very kind of just scuffed up looking iron sight. Next, we've got an AK for you, and boy, this is a bright one. This is the Anomaly Roots AK, and yeah, just look at this. This whole thing is just crazy looking. It's clean, but like, there you go. Aiming down the sides, you've got more of that sculpt and a nice red orangey tip to help you focus in on your shots. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one has some really cool art on it. There's two versions of it. There's the HCRP and blue, and then there's the HCRP version 2, which is this one, which is the red. And yeah, I just thought the red looked a little bit nicer with the drawing. The blue, to me, kind of, I don't know, looked a little weird. But that's everyone's personal opinion, of course, so you can check it out down in the description as usual. Aiming down the sights, you've got 120 frames and an error. Gotta love that. Lots of little details went into this one, which makes it quite the fun little AK. Next, we have a version 2 of the Bombing AK. And yeah, it has that big old AK-47 on that side and the big old bombing here. And then up front, there's been some more like graffiti changes and updates to that. And then this also is a stocked version. So this version has a stock in case that may have been what Hulk didn't like about the first one there. So there we go. Pop a reload for you. And there you have it. Next, we've got a crazy looking AK. It's got this awesome kind of carved design. This is the Mythical Dragon. And yeah, it almost looks like this whole thing is just kind of sculpted out of clay almost. And painted up really beautifully. Aiming down the sights, you've got a bit of a gem and more of the sculpting. And then the sights themselves are green with white and red tips there. Go ahead and pop a reload. And the front grip almost kind of looks like wicker in a way. This whole design is just quite unique. Next up, we've got an LR for you here. And this one is very bright and shiny. This is the Ares LR by Ted. And yeah, the whole thing is just all sorts of golden and kind of chromed out. But it does have some kind of like scuffs to it. Go ahead and aiming down the sights, you've got this bright neon green against the gold, which is quite a contrast. That's not a glowing sight, however, just very, very bright. There you have it. Next, we've got another LR for you. This one right here is pretty clean looking, and well, it's called the Cleansed LR, and that kind of fits. It's got kind of, you know, a mix of that kind of rich but clean look to it. You know, it's got the gold and white kind of, you know, that nice black highlights. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a bright red ring against the gold. Again, not glowing, but just very bright. And we'll pop a reload there. Next, we've got some L9s for you guys. Starting out with this one right here. This is the L96 Rising Moon. And obviously, you know, there's a moon and stars, so, you know, that's what fits to it. It has some nice gold highlights on it. Aiming down the sight, you've got a weird kind of like dot thing that almost looks like a judgy eyeball. I'm not too sure about that one there. Go ahead and take a look at it with a scope on it there. Everyone always likes seeing that. Next, we've got a remake to the Desert Sniper by Kosum. You can see it has all little score marks, lots of little details, and so forth has been redone. Has a nice desert digital kind of camo going to it. Aiming down the sights, nothing too special. Now I see that is just the bolt that was painted in weird colors on the other one there. So that was definitely interesting. Of course, there we go with that scope. Next, we've got another L9 amongst quite a many this week. This is the Hazard L96 for you. And yeah, the whole thing has a very construction vibe to it. The whole thing is big construction yellow. Lots of detailed kind of sculpting to it to make it look very, very much so like construction equipment. And those are some nice details there. Aiming down the sights, you've got a little, you know, radiation symbol there. Biohazard. And there it is with that scope. Next, we've got some more L9s for you, starting with this one right here. And this has got some pretty sick designs to it. This is the Tiger Eye L96 by Johnny. And yeah, it's just got this very sleek black shiny paint job with this nice golden streaks going through it and a tigery pattern. Gotta love it. This thing would definitely be a very high seller for sure. Aiming down the sights, not too much really going on right there. And there you got it. Next, we've got two more L9s for you, starting out with this one right here with a beautifully painted Paradise Bird on the side. This is the Paradise Bird L96. You can see that this peacock on there is just beautifully sculpted art. It goes all the way back here to the back of the gun. Then when we aim down the sights, there's even a little plant right there with a little design for you. Definitely a very nice looking L96. Next up, we've got one last L9 for you, like I said, and this one is the Collector L96 by Little Ranger, and it has this beautiful sculpted dragon on the side. Very clean cut and shiny look to the rest of the gun. Aiming down the sights here, you've got another very beautifully sculpted design. Kind of one of those kind of like Oni masks, maybe. Kind of looks like an Oni to me. Definitely a very sick looking L96. And there you have it. Next, we've got an M249 for you, and it is a continuation in the new Obsidian set by Neville. And yeah, the whole thing is, well, made out of black obsidian with these beautiful golden highlights to it. A little bit of silvery coloring here and there. It's definitely a very tough looking M249. Aiming down the sights here, you've got that gold contrasting against the black of the obsidian to help you focus in on your sight. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that reload. You can even see the bullets themselves have been colorized to match the theme as well. And last but not least, we've got a rocket launcher for you. This one comes in two versions, glowing and not glowing, and well, the glowing one is totally worth it because the whole thing looks like a lighthouse. Isn't that just amazing? Very creative. Love how it turned out. This thing is very neat. Go ahead and pop a reload. And let's see if a fourth rocket takes that tree out. And I could just miss entirely. Alright, well, that's it today, guys. Thanks for watching. Sound off in the comment section below which ones you are hoping to see and why. And we'll see you on Thursday to show you which one did make it out of this. Thanks for watching, and you all stay rusty.